evening. I am here with you, walking a quiet path through time and mist, high above the world, where the air is thin and the mountains cradle secrets older than memory. I want to take you with me to a place that breathes slowly, where every stone remembers and the sky leans close to listen. This is Machu Picchu, Peru, a city carved into the spine of the Andes, resting at 2,430 meters above sea level, where the Urubamba River curls around the base of the mountain like a silver ribbon. Built in the mid-15th century by the Inca Empire, it was abandoned less than a century later during the Spanish conquest, though there is no record of the Spanish ever finding it. It remained hidden beneath cloud forest and green growth until 1911, when Hiram Bingham, guided by local farmers, rediscovered its terraces and temples. But today, I am not here as a historian. I am here as a traveler, barefoot in spirit, moving through the hours with nothing but my breath and the soft press of earth beneath my steps. Just before dawn, at 4:18 a.m., the air is cool and still, carrying the faint scent of damp moss and wet stone. I rise in the small village of Aguas Calientes, nestled in the valley below, where the night has not yet lifted from the treetops. The streets are empty, quiet, save for the occasional drip of water from the eaves of wooden houses and the distant murmur of the river over smooth rocks. I dress slowly, pulling on layers to meet the chill and step outside. The sky is a deep indigo, scattered with stars so bright they seem to pulse. Orion hangs low over the eastern ridge, and the Milky Way stretches like a pale scar across the heavens. I walk toward the bus station, my footsteps soft on the wet pavement, each breath a small cloud in the dark. The first bus leaves at 5:30. 5:30 a.m. and I want to be among the first to arrive, to feel the sight before the crowds, to witness the sun rise over the ancient city as it has for centuries. By 5:45 a.m., I am on the bus, winding up the steep, narrow road that climbs the mountain. The headlights cut through the fog, revealing glimpses of sheer cliffs and jungle-covered slopes. The engine hums steadily, a low vibration beneath the seat, and the windows are cool to the touch. Outside, the forest is alive with the sounds of waking birds, soft chirps, flutters in the canopy, the occasional sharp call echoing through the mist. The road is narrow and unpaved in parts, and the bus sways gently with each turn. I press my forehead to the glass, watching the elevation markers climb 2,000 meters, 2,200, 2,400. My ears pop. The air grows thinner, and then at 6:12 a.m. the bus stops at the entrance gate. I step out, and the cold wraps around me like a cloak. The path to the main entrance is short, lined with stone walls, covered in emerald moss. I pass through the checkpoint, show my ticket, and enter through a heavy wooden door. The silence here is deep, almost sacred. The only sound is the soft crunch of gravel beneath my shoes and the distant drip of water from the morning mist. I begin the walk along the original Inca trail that leads into the city, a narrow path flanked by terraces carved into the mountainside. The stones are uneven, worn smooth by centuries of rain and footsteps. My hands brush the cold stone walls as I pass, feeling the precision of the fit, the way each block locks into the next without mortar, a testament to engineering that still defies full understanding. By 6:42 a.m., the first light begins to bleed through the clouds. The sky shifts from indigo to a soft lavender, then pale gold at the horizon. The mist clings to the peaks around me, drifting like smoke between the mountain ridges. I reach the guardhouse, a small structure perched at the edge of the citadel, and I pause. From here, the full expanse of Machu Picchu unfolds below, still half hidden in shadow. The Temple of the Sun rises in a curve of stone, nestled against the base of Huayna Picchu. The royal tomb lies just beneath it, carved directly into the living rock. The main temple stands in solemn symmetry, its three walls facing east toward the rising sun. And beyond, the agricultural terraces cascade down the slope, like steps leading into the sky. As the sun climbs at 7:08 a.m., the light spills over the eastern ridge and touches the highest points of the city. The stone glows warm gold, then amber, then a soft honey color. I walk slowly down the central path, past the Intihuatana stone, a carved ritual rock believed to have served as an astronomical clock or calendar. The surface is smooth, shaped with care, aligned with the sun's position during the solstices. I do not touch it. I stand near it, feeling the energy of the place, the quiet hum that seems to rise from the ground itself. The air is still, but not empty. It carries the scent of wet earth, wild flowers, and something deeper, stone, ancient and enduring. By 7:33 a.m., the first bird song fills the air. Clear, fluting calls from the Andean cock of the rock, a bright orange bird that flits between the cliffs. I follow the path toward the residential sector, where the small stone houses stand in rows, each with a single doorway, no windows, roofs long gone. The interior just enough space for a family, with niches carved into the walls for storage or offerings. I imagine the people who lived here, priests, artisans, servants to the elite, rising in the cold morning, lighting fires in the small hearths, beginning their day with ritual and work. The city was not a fortress, nor a battlefield. It was a retreat, a sacred place, possibly a royal estate for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti. At 8:02 a.m., I reached the Temple of the Three Windows, 3 large trapezoidal openings cut into a stone wall, framing the valley beyond. The light streams through them, casting long rectangles across the floor. The precision of the stonework is astonishing, each block shaped to fit perfectly, the edges smooth, the angles exact. I sit on the edge of the platform, my back against the wall, and watch the mist rise from the river far below. The sun is higher now, warming my face, drying the dew on the grass. The sight is beginning to fill with visitors, their voices low, their footsteps careful, but the energy of the place remains undisturbed. It absorbs sound, softens movement, holds everything in a kind of reverence. By 8:47 a.m., I walk toward the agricultural serve, descending the steep stone steps that connect each level. These are not just for growing food. They are also an engineering marvel, designed to prevent erosion, manage water runoff, and create microclimates. Each terrace is lined with stone walls, carefully angled to retain soil and absorb heat. I see evidence of ancient irrigation channels, still functional in parts, guiding water from natural springs high above. The soil is dark and rich, and even today, some areas are planted with native crops, maize, potatoes, quinoa. The air here smells of earth and green growth, and the sun warms the stone beneath my hands as I rest on the edge of one terrace. At 9:15 a.m., I follow a narrow path to the sacred rock, a large stone slab carved to resemble the mountain range behind it. The contours are precise, mirroring the peaks of Picchu and Machu Picchu mountain. It is said that the Inca saw sacred geometry in the landscape, believing that the mountains were living beings, apas or spirits. This rock is not just a representation. It is a portal, a way of honoring the land itself. I stand before it, not praying, not asking, simply being. The wind brushes my cheek, carrying the faint scent of eucalyptus from a tree growing nearby. A butterfly, yellow and black, flutters past, vanishing into the mist. By 10:03 a.m., I climb the steep path to the Sun Gate, Inti Pungu, the original entrance to Machu Picchu from the Inca Trail. The ascent is challenging, with hundreds of stone steps carved directly into the mountainside. My legs burn. My breath comes short in the thin air, but the rhythm of climbing becomes meditative. Each step is deliberate, each breath a pause. The path winds through cloud forest, where orchids grow on mossy branches and ferns unfurl in the damp shade. The sound of birds grows louder. Tanager calls, the chime of a hummingbird's wings, and then at 10:48 a.m. I reach the gate. The view stops me. Below, the entire citadel lies spread out, now fully illuminated by the morning sun. The terraces glow. The temples stand in clear relief, and the river winds through the valley like a ribbon of light. This is the view the ancient travelers would have seen after days of walking, the reward for their journey. I sit on the stone bench, beside the gate, feeling the warmth of the sun on my arms. A condor circles high above its wings, outstretched, riding the thermal currents. It moves slowly, silently, a shadow against the blue. I watch it until it disappears behind the peak. By 11:20 a.m., I descend back into the city, retracing my steps. The temperature has risen, and the air is now comfortably warm. I pass groups of visitors, moving quietly through the plazas, some sketching, others simply standing, absorbing the space. I notice the way the light plays on the stone, how it deepens the shadows in the doorways, highlights the texture of the rock, turns the moss into tiny emerald flames. I find a quiet corner near the temple of the condor, where the stone has been shaped to resemble the wings and head of the great bird. The acoustics here are strange. The slightest sound echoes softly, as if the stone remembers song. At 12:07 p.m., I sit on a low wall in the central plaza, eating a simple meal. I brought with me bread, cheese, a piece of fruit. The flavors are sharp and clean in the mountain air. I drink water from my bottle, cool and pure. Around me, the site hums with quiet energy. Children laugh softly. A dog trots past, tail high, belonging to no one and everyone. The sun is directly overhead now, casting short shadows. I watch a lizard dart across the stones, its body flat and quick, vanishing into a crack. The heat of the day is gentle, not harsh, and a light breeze moves through the plaza, carrying the scent of wild mint growing between the rocks. By 1:18 p.m., I begin the climb to the top of Machu Picchu, the iconic peak that rises behind the city. The trail is narrow, steep, and not for the faint of heart. Only 400 people are allowed per day, and I have a timed entry. The path is carved into the rock with wooden railings in the steepest sections. My hands grip the cold metal as I ascend, my feet finding purchase on the ancient steps. The view opens with every turn. First the rooftops of the city, then the full sweep of the valley, the river looping like a serpent. At 1:52 p.m. I reach the first platform, a small clearing with a stone seat. I rest, breathing deeply, feeling the altitude in my chest. By 2:20 p.m. I continue upward, the path narrowing, the drop on one side sheer. I move slowly, deliberately, focusing on each step. The stone is cool beneath my palms when I need to steady myself. Butterflies flutter near the edges, blue morphos, their wings flashing like shards of sky. And then at 2:48 p.m. I reach the summit. The world falls away in every direction. The entire citadel lies below, a miniature city in the palm of the mountain. The clouds drift beneath me, obscuring the distant peaks. I sit on a flat rock, my legs dangling over the edge, and let the silence fill me. There is no wind here, only stillness. I close my eyes and feel the sun on my face, the warmth seeping into my skin. This is not just a view, it is a perspective, a reminder of how small we are and how vast the world can be. At 3:30 p.m. I begin the descent, careful on the steep steps. My legs tremble slightly from the effort, but the rhythm returns, and I move with care. By 4:12 p.m. I am back in the city, walking through the central plaza once more. The light is softer now, golden and slanting. The shadows stretch across the terraces, and the stone takes on a deeper hue, russet, ochre, deep grey. I find a bench near the fountain system where water still flows through the original Inca channels, fed by a spring high above. The sound is gentle, a constant trickle, a thread of life running through the site. I watch as a woman kneels by the channel, cupping water in her hands, drinking slowly. By 5:04 p.m., I walk toward the exit, passing the Temple of the Moon, located in a cave on the far side of Machu Picchu. I do not enter. It is a longer hike and the light is fading, but I stand at the base of the trail, looking up at the entrance, a dark mouth in the rock, surrounded by orchids and moss. The temple is carved deep within the mountain, a place of ritual and darkness, aligned with lunar cycles. I feel its pull, but I do not go. Some places are meant to be felt from a distance. At 5:48 p.m., I leave the citadel, stepping through the wooden gate one last time. The air is cooler now, and the sky is painted in soft pinks and oranges. I take the bus back down to Aguas Calientes, the lights of the town beginning to flicker on in the valley. The ride is quiet, most passengers tired, some sleeping. I press my forehead to the glass again, watching the darkness rise from the river, swallowing the slopes. By 7:15 p.m., I eat dinner at a small restaurant in the town, seated near an open window. The menu is simple: trout from the river, roasted potatoes, a salad of fresh greens. The food is warm, flavorful, grounding. Outside, the streetlights cast pools of yellow on the wet pavement. A man plays a flute nearby, the notes soft and wandering, blending with the sound of the river. I do not rush. I eat slowly, savoring each bite, feeling the day settle into my bones. At 8:40 p.m., I walk back to my room, the night air cool on my skin. I wash my face, the water cold and refreshing. I sit by the window, looking up at the sky. The stars are out again, clearer now, unobscured by the mist. The Milky Way is a river of light above the mountains. I think of the stones, the terraces, the silent temples. I think of the hands that built them, the lives that moved through them, the centuries of rain and wind that could not wash them away. By 9:50 p.m., I lie down, the sheets cool against my skin. The sounds of the town fade. The last footsteps, the distant music, the river's endless flow. I close my eyes, and in the darkness, I see the city again, glowing in the morning light, suspended between earth and sky. The breath in my chest slows. The day unravels, not as memory, but as presence. Machu Picchu is not just a place I visited. It is a feeling I carry, the quiet strength of stone, the grace of mountains, the peace of being small, in a world that is so beautifully, deeply old. And so the night deepens, and I rest, cradled in the valley, held by the silence, dreaming in the shadow of the abyss.